These works of art, which look like they were made by cutting cardboard when viewed from a distance, are actually paintings. Artist Bill Brown uses an incredible shading technique to make everything in the painting appear as if it were a piece cut from cardboard. They are deceptive, but they look amazing. Volcanoes are massive entities that appear almost alive, and oceans are just as terrifying and vibrant as volcanoes. If these two were to merge, what would they look like? Just like this. When you look at vast oceans or deep, unknown seas, do you feel a shiver down your spine? If you do, it's perfectly natural, because this fear, which many people have, is called thalassophobia. The term thalassophobia comes from the Greek words thalassa, meaning sea, and phobos, meaning fear. Even just looking at a photo or video can be enough to trigger thalassophobia. When a 16th century armor faces off against a weapon from the same century, which one wins? This slow motion footage gives us the answer. Although the bullet is fired with full force according to the conditions of the time, the armor is durable enough to stop it. Still, it's clear that it causes significant damage. The final state of this pool is dazzling. For some people, cleaning has already become an art form. These artists are practicing their craft, restoring an abandoned pool to its former glory. It makes you want to dive right in. If you break an egg underwater, what happens? First, you need to dive underwater with the egg. Then, by gently tapping the shell, you crack it open, and the egg is released into free circulation. The water pressure prevents it from dispersing. In ancient Rome, dentistry was often performed by slaves. This was due to a few reasons. Medicine wasn't advanced, so bloody and unhygienic tasks like tooth extraction were given to the lower class. Additionally, if a slave made a mistake, it was considered less significant than if someone from a higher class did, and the slave could easily be replaced. In short, dentistry in ancient Rome was class-based. Did you know how a vehicle is recycled? In this process, every part of the car is separated to different places. First, the glass is removed, then the hood is taken off and tossed aside, and the bumpers and other materials are thoroughly cleaned off the car. The next step is, of course, crushing the car and turning it into a big pile of metal. Did you know what this woman is eating? This dish, which she fries nicely in oil on a pan and then perfects at the foot of the mountain as if she knows the taste of her mouth, is a food the Japanese call carbon bread. The woman just gave it a brick shape. This is what diving suits looked like in the early 1900s. These fluffy-looking sweets are what the Japanese call dango or mitarashi dango, made from rice flour and served with soy sauce poured over them. White wine and green tea can also be used in the preparation, which makes it quite unique. Once cooked, they are skewered on a stick and usually served that way. Have you ever seen a concrete ship? Nowadays, they are rarely seen, but concrete ships were built during times when steel was difficult to obtain. Concrete, a durable material, was used in shipbuilding, but the ships became extremely heavy and lost their practicality. However, it is known that these ships were produced and used during the World Wars. A system is being installed in Norway that allows cars to charge while driving on the road. The roads are equipped with a wireless charging system embedded in the surface, enabling electric cars to recharge without stopping at stations. This system is expected to spread worldwide. Would you like to wake up in a hotel made of ice? These hotels, almost completely rebuilt every year, offer everything you could wish for: an enormous entrance, a bar, and even a jacuzzi. It must be an incredible experience. How powerful is the human brain? One of the heaviest parts of our body. The brain operates at around 20 watts, about the same energy as a light bulb. Despite this low energy consumption, the average brain can process 11 million bits of information per minute. We're only aware of a tiny fraction of it, though otherwise, our minds would be overwhelmed with chaos. With the advent of cameras in our lives, theft has begun to decrease, but 100 years ago, there was no solution other than catching thieves in the act. Although this device may resemble those used in cartoons, I'm sure there were people curious enough to try it. We simply throw a web like Spider-Man to catch the thief. Did you know why the keys on the keyboard are arranged this way? In the early days, there were no electronic keyboards. Everything was done with mechanical keyboards. When typing fast, pressing certain keys simultaneously would cause them to jam. To prevent this, frequently used letters were spread out across different parts of the keyboard, solving the problem. It is now possible to print meat from a printer. Cultured meat, one of the projects that has been worked on for years, has already started making its way to the dinner table. Many companies are vying for leadership in this field, but it seems that it will take years for people to get used to and show interest in these cultured meats. Would you like to walk on this bridge, located in China and connecting to valleys? This walkway is approximately 140 meters above the ground. Its glass bottom and winding paths attract the attention of tourists. The bridge's name, Ruyi, comes from a decorative object that symbolizes power and good luck. Which is the most populous city in the world? In third place is Delhi with a population of 31 million. In second place is Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, with over 35 million people. The most populous city, however, is Tokyo, Japan's capital, home to 38.5 million people. Which of these three cities would you choose to live in? This tire is different from the others. It rolls over small nails without any issues, so they put it through a bigger test, but the result doesn't change. This plant follows an interesting method for reproduction. When a bee, attracted by its scent, touches the plant's trigger mechanism, the system is activated and the plant's pollen sticks to the bee. Of course, it's not just bees. It doesn't matter what touches the trigger mechanism, pollen is immediately attached, allowing the orchid to continue reproducing. In the future, criminals will be imprisoned in this way, in a system called Cognify. Instead of physical prisons, criminals will live in prisons within their own minds. With the support of artificial intelligence, a simulated life experience will be provided to the criminal's mind, and by undergoing this, the criminal is expected to be rehabilitated. While the system seems promising in theory, it seems unlikely that a person could remain physically immobile for months. These stairs, called the Ladder of Love, look quite terrifying, and there is no protection around them. Designed for two people to climb together, trusting each other, the stairs gradually narrow and give you the feeling of looking down at the world from above. Would you dare to climb these stairs? This kid is trying to do bottle flip. Although her first two attempts fail, she succeeds on her third try, and the audience celebrates her achievement. She will never forget this moment for the rest of her life. Have you ever seen a snake shedding its skin before? This is how the skin shedding of the Boelen's python, a rare and non-venomous snake species. Isn't it an incredible creature?